We have made it. Another off season is over. The greatest sport in the world is back. Good morning. Welcome, everybody, to the Carton Show. That's Cody Decker right there. That's Super Bowl champion, Mr. Plaxico Antonio Burris sitting to my left right there. And it's on like Donkey Kong tonight. It is the Hall of Fame game. But before I get carried away, we do the same thing every day like clockwork, so it's somewhat predictable for you. Thursday morning, headlines. My man Pots and Pans. Zach Wilson. We're going to see Zach Wilson, number 2 right there. We're going to see a lot of Zach Wilson because it is a preseason game, and despite the fact that I disagree with it, Aaron Rodgers is not going to play tonight in Canton, Ohio. But we are back. Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, and while I no longer gamble because I can't do it responsibly, the New York Jets are favored in tonight's game.
Congrats.
And you can get used to that throughout the entire season. Probably be favored all 17 games. Wow. But Plaxico Burris, you never played in this game. But I think for a guy like you, one of the legendary wide receivers in our sports history, tonight's a big night, and you and the Burris family will be all gathered together on the couch, eating popcorn, watching football.
It's a big night on 2 accords. Nobody's really worried about the football game. It's a celebratory night for Rondé Barber and Darrelle Revis.
Yep. And Joe Klecko.
There are no other headlines other than that because we're going to be watching some second and third string guys play tonight.
Nah, that's unacceptable.
Listen, a lot of these guys won't make the roster, so it may be their first and last game playing in this business. But football is back on tonight. I mean,
football is back.
No starters are playing in tonight's game. You don't even know half of the guys that are playing tonight.
There's guys in green and guys in brown. They would tackle each other and try to hurt each other.
You're talking about a humbling game.
Yeah.
Just 2 years ago, Zach Wilson was drafted to the New York Jets as being basically the savior of this franchise.
Yeah.
2 years removed from that, he's the starter in tonight's Hall of Fame game.
Can't wait to see him.
They play 5 preseason games.
Yep.
Because the Hall of Fame game has been added to their schedule.
Yeah.
And now he's the humbling starter for the Hall of Fame.
Okay, listen, if I may, Plax will not be here beyond the first segment of today's show.
Oh, come on.
Because you don't get it, Plax. Maybe because you played.
Get it.
Wait a second.
I played for so long.
Yeah.
When the preseason games came along, you're like, okay.
Yeah, here we go.
I just want to make it through the preseason. So I can run out of the tunnel on September 11th on opening
Here's
day.
the problem. You view it from the perspective of a player, and I have to get that and respect that.
Right.
While you are a fan of the sport, obviously,
Absolutely.
now that you're retired, you still view it from the mindset of a player. Players hate the summer, and I get that. I've covered teams, I've traveled with teams, but I'm a fan. I'm always a fan. The New York Jets have not been in this game in 31 years. We get 2 Jets into the Hall of Fame on Saturday, Joe Klecko and Darrelle Revis. And for me, this is kind of like, not that a lot of you have experiences with this, but this is like your child got kidnapped.
What?
And for just follow me in this.
Okay.
And for the last 6 months, you sat there by the door of the window. I hope Billy comes home. I hope Billy comes home. Billy comes home tonight.
You just said this is the first time that the New York Jets have played in this game in 31 years.
That's right.
Who was the last New York Jet to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
It has been a while. Probably Joe Namath.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why they haven't played in this game.
Or Curtis Martin, I guess, right? But he's not exclusively a New York Jet.
That's why they haven't played in this game in 31 years.
Yeah, listen, the last time we did play in this game, it didn't go quite well. We embarrassed ourselves. Here's highlights. New York Jets. Oh, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown.
Who is that? Oh, he spiked the ball before he crossed the goal line. Oh, that's a fumble.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not good.
Who is that?
We can't figure out who it is because he didn't make the squad. Yeah, he did not.
He didn't make the squad. Like I said,
he was not good enough to make the team because he spiked the ball on the 4-yard line. Of course, the referee said touchdown on the 5. So what was he supposed to do?
Unbelievable.
But that is our history with the Hall of Fame game. Obviously, you're not going to see Deshaun Watson tonight. You're not going to see Aaron Rodgers tonight. But it doesn't matter. I think universally, outside of plaques and guys that play football, because Cody, you're a fan. I know you're pumped for tonight. This is the day we wait for. It's like, as a baseball player and baseball fans, opening day.
Yes.
It's like a national holiday. I know that we're not going to see all the regulars or even any of the regulars play tonight, Blacks, but it doesn't matter. We're going to get to see NFL football tonight.
I understand.
And that means it's back. That means guys aren't doing the dishes anymore. We're not mowing the lawn anymore.
What?
We're not going for long walks on the beach and talking about our feelings. We're not taking out the garbage anymore.
Listen.
We're not going out on double dates with people we've never met before because it makes our people happy. No! From today on, it's our world.
You know what? Just because football starts tonight, the grass is never going to stop growing, and the dishes are going to continue to be dirty. So somebody's going to have to do the dishes and cut the
Not
grass
going to do themselves.
after tonight.
Yeah, not me. It ain't gonna be me. That's why I got 4 kids. Go do the dishes. Daddy's watching football. The honey-do list has come to an end. One quick side note for the Jets. There is a guy, some of you have heard, not all of you, unless, of course, you're an East Coast football fan, who is going to play tonight, and it is a key part of the Jets season coming up, and that's Mekhi Becton, who, of course, has missed the last couple of years with weight and injury issues. To the kid's credit, he's lost a boatload of weight. He's down to about 330, 340. Still has some knee issues, and they're going to debate, is he left tackle or right tackle? But you will see Mekhi Becton in this game, and he's got to show them that he can be counted on to protect whomever the quarterback is.
Did you say down to 330, 340?
Down. I'm not making that up.
Good Lord.
He was 4 bills last year. Legit. True story. And it's hard for the human body, joint-wise, to carry that kind of load. So it's a big deal that he lost that kind of weight. All right. Tons of football all day today. If you're not excited, I'm sorry. Watch The View. All right, now, who's this guy? That's Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara had a plea deal in Vegas. Got the charges reduced down to misdemeanor charges stemming from what was really just an ambush attack on a dude in an elevator about a year ago now, just over a year ago. But he has to meet with the commissioner, and most people think he will be suspended a couple of games. Even though it's not a felony charge, it is a misdemeanor charge. And that's expected, right? The video, we've all seen it. It's ugly. There's nothing good you can say about it. And the reason it's a headline is because the New Orleans Saints view themselves. You know what? I don't even need to see it, honestly. You can take it off the screen. I'd rather watch the soccer player break his leg than see 4 dudes jump a guy.
I don't want to see that.
Right. That's just my own sensibility. We don't need to see that. It's grotesque and graphic and gratuitous, and whoever decided to show it, you fired. Beyond that, though, he'll be suspended a couple games, most likely by Goodell. I think we all agree he should be.
Yes.
For the video that we have all seen. But the Saints do have a legitimate claim right now as don't sleep on us. Right. We've got a quarterback in Derek Carr. We have a sneaky good defense. Obviously, if our wide receivers like Thomas stay healthy, we're going to be a good offense as well, maybe a better than good offense, and we should win our division. The Saints are one of those NFC teams, when you take Philly and San Fran and put them to the side, that you do have to consider.
I mean, I would suspect that the head coach and the front office of the New Orleans Saints have been anticipating that Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended.
I agree with you.
Even if he does get suspended for the first 6 games, I still think the New Orleans Saints have the firepower to win the NFC South. Michael Thomas stays healthy.
And that's key.
Hey, you got a brand new quarterback in Derek Carr. Cameron Jordan's leading this defense. I think they have the best defense in the division. And even if he does miss 6 games, they can still win the division.
Yeah, by the way, you and I are in lockstep on that. Maybe he does get 6. Maybe he gets 4 to be negotiated by the union, of
Probably
course.
4.
He's going to miss some games.
Yes.
We just don't know how many. Go ahead.
A question for you, though. You mentioned tonight that Dalvin Cook is supposed to be on the sideline for your team, but likely will not be.
That's me as a fan talking, of course,
I know.
Cody.
Oh, you guaranteed it.
We're not talking about the Jets today. What's going on? Are you feeling a little heartbroken?
Not even a little bit. Because The Jets got there yesterday.
For the last 3 weeks, we've been opening the show with your guy.
Yeah.
They've been topic of discussion. What's going on?
By the way, does the game start at 9:40 in the morning Eastern time?
Oh, so you got time?
Starts tonight.
Okay.
Dalvin Cook could make it to Canton, Ohio tonight.
Okay.
So possible.
Well, my question for you is simple as this. New Orleans needs a running back. Dalvin Cook doesn't have a team yet. Could New Orleans jump in?
But Alvin's going to be back. Whether it's 2 games, 6 games, 4 games, they wouldn't bring a Dalvin Cook in for 4 games. If you bring Dalvin Cook in, he's your starting tailback, and if he stays healthy, for the year. Mm-hmm. So I would say New Orleans doesn't make sense. Dallas does because of Pollard's injury. Miami does because you got Mostert and Smith or Wilson rather there. And the Jets, of course. And he's going to be a Jet. I don't care what Plaxico Burress says.
We'll see.
He ain't no insider.
We're going to see.
All right. Headline number 3. Happy birthday to you. A happy birthday to you. Tom Brady, 46 years old today. Why do we celebrate it? Because he's the greatest quarterback of all time. And this is for us as football fans, as the season begins officially tonight with the Hall of Fame game, the first year in over 2 decades that we will have football and Tom Brady will not be on a field playing it. And that really requires a moment of silence.
It does not.
What?
I miss him already.
It does not require a moment of silence.
I think we should all bow our heads in prayer.
I think we're taking it a little far. We're taking it a little far.
It should be a holiday, in my opinion.
I think we should bow our heads in prayer.
Agreed.
And thank the heavens above and the
All
Lord.
we can say is
for Tom Brady.
Happy birthday to TB12. He's a week older than me. And I would know that because we were the last 2 players from my draft to be playing in 2013.
Is that right? You guys lasted, obviously he did, but I didn't realize that.
We were the last 2.
Look at you, Plaxico Burress. And you're the guy that also ended the 18-0 season with a touchdown catch against man-to-man coverage. My guy.
I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Are you friendly with Tom at all? Have you ever?
We acknowledge each other. We pick at each other a little bit, but he's a great guy.
Like if you guys were at a golf tournament together, he's like, "Don't put me with Plaxico. That's the guy to beat me."
No, I've been playing against him since I was in college.
Right,
so
Michigan State.
We go all the way back to when we was 18, 19 years old. So we had some battles.
Yeah, now you guys are old, but he looks good. All right, we got. Happy birthday, Tom, who's now part of the Fox family, of course. Headline number 4, a little baseball for you. I know you're going to go Yankees on this. Aaron Boone said yesterday before they beat Tampa to win the final game of that 3-game series.
Big win.
We've got a chance. Of course, we got to play better. I mean, obviously, but the Yankees, and I know I said baseball's dead in New York, and I think it is. They're only 3 games out in the loss column.
Wait.
3.
I've been spending all week saying this to you, and they're 3.5 out of the wild card.
Well, 3 in the loss column.
Okay, well, listen, this is a team that could go to playoffs if they play out of their minds. Cole, if he pitches that way, Rodon is there. If their pitching can hold up, maybe, but they can't hit.
All I'm saying is baseball's dead in New York for the moment.
I said that yesterday.
It could be resuscitated possibly.
Can we play the tape yesterday when I said the New York Yankees will make the playoffs? They're only 3.5 games back. They are going to make a push and a surge to make it into the
If that happens, we will play that for you 100%, give you the credit you deserve. They did take a hit yesterday. It's on a personal level. Domingo Germán, who's been the maligned pitcher for them based on performance, who also threw a perfect game earlier this year. Also has suspension for sticky stuff. Is taking a personal leave of absence for the rest of the year. The Yankees announced yesterday, with his permission, that he is struggling with alcohol addiction, and he has checked into an inpatient rehab center to get help for what is obviously a problem for him. My gut is that CeCe's talking to him as well, because he's publicly dealt with those kinds of demons as well. So you wish the best for Domingo Germán, but the New York Yankees will not have him the rest of the way. And one more quick baseball note. A lot of times, when things don't go the way you plan, you try to figure out who do you blame. And it's the manager that gets fired, right? Usually. It's always the manager. Well, Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, spoke yesterday. He flew out to Kansas City to see the Mets and talk to the guys about the horrendous season that they're having. But Steve Cohen said to the press after he met with the team, when asked about the safety of Buck Showalter's job, he said, "I don't blame Buck Showalter. I blame the players." Listen to this. I love this.
Buck's working hard. I got a 3-year contract with Buck, and we're only a year and a little over a half in. So we're status quo. I don't put it on Buck. I put it on the players.
Love that. And that's who it is. Now, you can't replace all the players, obviously. Buck Showalter was manager of the year last year. They won 101 or 2 games last year and went to the playoffs, obviously, as a wild card team. And Buck Showalter seems like he's going to be back for year 3 for the New York Mets.
Makes sense.
You seem upset about that.
Why do you love that?
I love it because we typically say, hey, things aren't going our way. It's the manager's fault. Fire the manager.
No,
Here's an owner telling you, I paid these tools $350 million. It's their fault.
Well,
it's not the old guy's fault.
Who was responsible
for
getting the players?
The owner.
Okay, then.
So you want him to say it's my fault?
Well, go find some better players.
It's Max Scherzer's fault.
He was
it's Verlander's fault.
Wait.
It's Francisco Lindor's fault.
He's not having a horrible year.
It's all them guys' fault.
Salaries.
I love it. I love when the owner comes out and blames the players because it's the players that deserve the blame.
Cohen hired Showalter to coach the players.
Right.
So who is in charge of the players?
Yeah, the players are. Not the manager sits on his ass.
The manager, to be fair, is just making the lineup at this point. But he's not in the batter's box with them.
I don't know what's going on, but you're being combative every step of the way this morning. It's going to be a long morning for all of us. And one last thing before we take our first well-deserved break of the day. An update on the gal from Somalia, who is still running the 100-meter. It's supposed to be a dash, but it's more like a stroll for the gal third from your right there, who you'll see kind of lazily run or walk the 100 meters. There she is. It became such a big deal globally that they fired the head of athletics for Somalia.
Oh, gee.
He's out of a job, and the country apologized to the world for having this gal allegedly participate in a race.
Somalia is known for really long distance running and things of that nature.
They're not sprinters.
I don't even understand how she got into
because
this
she's the niece.
It doesn't matter
of the guy.
Did they need Somalia somebody to represent them in the 100-meter dash?
Apparently they did. I don't know.
And the guy lost his job.
The guy got fired, and no joke, as a country, they apologize to the rest of the world.
There's no way that they watch her run.
Yeah. No,
that fast.
No,
and put her into the race.
No, he's like, honey, it's Uncle Bob. And you want to be in a race?
They flew her to Asia for this.
Yeah,
he was in China.
You never been to China? You want to go to China? Free vacation? I don't know what it is.
Wow.
You think of all the things that have happened in Somalia, though they might have apologized for some other things before apologizing for a slow runner in a 100-meter race. Anyhow, we got lots cooking today. It is not his birthday. That's next week. It's Tom Brady's birthday. We got tons of football. We got the Hall of Fame game. And we got the reality that the answer to that question on the bottom of your screen is not a chance. Coming up right after this.
Greetings, soccer fans. Are you ready for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup? As we are. That's right. Australia and New Zealand, look out. State of the Union is coming. And we'll be going above and beyond down under. We'll have new podcast episodes every single match day. So follow Alexi Lawless's State of the Union on the Fox app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the Carton Show. NFL opening night is 5 weeks away.
By the way, Cody, don't forget, in 1992, when the New York Jets played the Philadelphia Eagles in their last Hall of Fame game, they beat them 41-14. They were 5-0 that preseason.
In 92?
Preseason?
And then they went 5-11. Yeah. Or actually 4-12. But that was the year coming out of that preseason where Brownie Nagel as our quarterback.
Who?
Who? Brownie Nagel.
That's a person?
That's right, Brownie Nagel. And all Jet fans were saying, undefeated preseason, come get some. And then we went 4-12 and we're not a very good team. So don't put too much stock into the final score of today's game.
Wait.
Yeah.
No. This was a must-win. You've been saying it for 2 months. This is a must-win tonight.
It is a must-win. I hope the Jets win by 50 and put their foot on the throats of the Cleveland Browns. But I've got a little insight for you, a little insight into tonight's game. Total points scored in tonight's game, 20.
Ooh,
Yep,
scoring affair.
that's what you're going to see tonight. 20-0 Jets.
Okay,
that is going to be your final score tonight, and I'll keep note of it.
Well, as I mentioned, NFL opening season is only 5 weeks away, so we got 5 questions leading into the season that we need you two to answer. So,
is it like a competition, me versus Plaque?
Sure.
All right, let's go.
I'll name a winner of each one.
It's not basketball. It's
Okay, no competition. We'll both just answer.
Very well. Well, question number 1. Will Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs go back-to-back this year?
You go first, Plax.
Yes. I believe so.
Really?
I believe they will.
Yeah,
They're
I don't.
clearly the best team in the AFC West, and he has that chip on his shoulder, like he said this week and last week. He wants to get the number 7, and 3 is closer than 2. So I'm gonna say
I don't know why he would possibly have a chip on his shoulder when he just won a Super Bowl. I respect the fact that he's got to find a way to motivate himself. I get all that. But if you wanted to play this game where, and it's a fair question because they're the favorites to win it again.
Hasn't happened over a
decade. Because you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and all that stuff. You could have Kansas City. I'll take the field. I'm going to win. They haven't had a back-to-back Super Bowl champion in 20 years. It ain't easy to do it.
It doesn't mean that it can't be done.
I agree, but it ain't going to be done.
He said that's what he wants to do.
By the way,
back-to-back.
let me just tell you one other thing. The Kansas City Chiefs, talent-wise, if you really break it down, position, man for man, are not as good a football team today as they were 6 months ago. They lost an offensive lineman. Kadarius Toney is hurt. They have not brought in a big-name free agent at running back or wide receiver. You lose McCole Hardman. Isaiah Pacheco's banged up. Travis Kelce's a rock star, and you've got the most important guy on the field in any stadium in Patrick Mahomes and the right guy on the sideline. I don't discount that. But you cannot make the argument that the Kansas City Chiefs today are a more talented team than they were 6 months ago, because that would be a lie.
Okay, I agree with that. But they're playing in the AFC West. The only competition for them in the AFC West are the Los Angeles Chargers.
What if the Broncos suddenly find out how to? Broncos have a good defense.
They do.
Right?
Yeah.
Broncos have a new coach that everybody loves.
They have Russell Wilson.
I'll give you that the Raiders are still in the basement.
They're not better than the Chiefs, though.
Yeah, but don't forget the Chiefs have also, won 15 straight games against the Broncos.
Yes.
Like, if they might split this year.
No, they won't.
Okay. Listen, you're putting me in an uncomfortable position of having to be critical of the best team in football. But again, go look at the roster. They're not as good as they were 6 months ago. And that at some point bites you in the ass.
Well, Patrick Mahomes show you how good he really is.
No doubt about it. And he is the best quarterback and football player in the league. But to answer your very pointed question, will they go back-to-back?
Yes.
It's an easy no. Because I got 31 other teams on my side. You got them. I win that all day.
And so do the Jets. Next question.
Well, question number 2, 5 weeks away for 5 questions. Which rookie quarterback is going to have the breakout season this year?
I'll go first in this one. For me, it's C.J. Stroud. I loved him coming out. That would have been my number 1 pick, not Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young's size is going to give him problems at the NFL level, at least early on in his career, until they figure out a way to get him out of the pocket and roll the pocket all the time. Anthony Richardson, who might be the best athlete of the bunch, is playing for a dysfunctional organization, and Jonathan Taylor might not be behind him. So for me, Stroud's the guy. I think he's the most NFL-ready quarterback of all of them.
I got to go with Anthony Richardson. A lot of people haven't seen him play because he played in the SEC.
And didn't play a lot.
Played for the Florida Gators. Big time arm. He's a lot more athletic than people know. And I think he's a better Justin Fields.
Okay.
As far as him running, getting out of the pocket,
arm,
making plays, and with a big time arm. So I'm going with Anthony Richardson.
I will tell you, I've spent a lot of time reading about Anthony Richardson because I didn't know a lot about him. I did not see a lot of him. Right. To be fair, he doesn't have a 50-game resume in college like some guys do. And this sounds like one of the nicest, goodest. That's great, Craig. Like just a good dude, right? And he's also like probably like you were at a certain age, not anymore today, of course, because you're old. But this dude is a freak athlete too.
Right.
This guy can do stuff most quarterbacks just can't do physically. I root for him, but he's also playing for Jim Irsay, who did say a couple days ago, look, we're all going to die, and it doesn't really matter what we do. Wow. Not a real vote of confidence from your owner, right?
Yeah, one of his biggest assets is getting Jonathan Taylor back on the football field. If he doesn't have him, he may struggle a little.
No doubt about it. All right, what's number 3?
After all the offseason drama that took place for the New York Giants and Saquon Barkley, what kind of season do you expect Saquon to have this year?
I think it's going to be a kind of conflicting answer. I think Saquon Barkley has a great year and statistically not as good as last year.
Okay.
Because you've got Darren Waller now. You've got Paris Campbell, who we've shown some videos making some acrobatic catches and getting open down the field. You have hopefully a healthy Sterling Shepard coming back. All of a sudden, you've got other options for Daniel Jones. And I think Saquon has a big year. I think he's well over 1,000 yards, maybe like 1,600 combined receiving and rushing.
Okay.
But I don't think it's the same statistical year that he had last year because you don't have to rely on him as much.
I think he's better than last year. I really do. See, you're thinking that Daniel Jones has more weapons because they add Paris Campbell and they add Darren Waller. But what that does, all of those things kind of go hand in hand. Darren Waller is going to have an effect on the running game to the point to where defense is going to have to make a decision if they want to double team and whatnot. What that does for Saquon is that they don't have that eighth man and that free safety in the box. So now he's playing against 6 and 7 man fronts. And now he can get to that 1,500 yard rushing and maybe 200 or 300 yards out of the backfield catching the football. So I think he's going to be better even statistically.
So you think having those other options actually makes it easier for Saquon?
It's kind of interesting. It's kind of a pick your poison with the defense. When they had me on the outside, you had to make a conscious decision if you want to double me or if you wanted to stop the running game with Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw. And it's one of those things where you have to pick your poison defensively. Are we going to let them run up and down the football field? Or are we going to let this monster go crazy?
Good point. By the way, speaking of Brandon Jacobs, he agreed with me yesterday that he, in his lifetime, never heard anyone call the starting quarterback a bitch. In regards to Dak Prescott and Trayvon Diggs yesterday.
Brandon will fight anybody over anything.
That's my dude, Brandon Jacobs. All right, what else you got? Curtis, number 4.
5 weeks away from the season, 5 questions. Question number 3. Is the NFC a 2-horse race between the 49ers and the Eagles, Plax?
Nope. I got to throw my New York Giants in there. I'm not just going to let the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers run away with this thing as far as being a two-team horse. I mean, respectively. I've said that the Philadelphia Eagles have the best team in the NFC.
You have
I'm not going to back off of that. But I would have to put the New York Giants, too, ahead of the San Francisco 49ers. I really do.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We got some weapons on the offense. We got some guys that are explosive catching the football. We have a defense that can get pressure and get to the quarterback. And I got my man 2-6 back behind me and Daniel Jones. And hopefully he can throw for more than 15 touchdowns
Be
this
nice.
year.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that the Philadelphia Eagles would not sweep my Giants.
Which they did 3 times.
And that they will be second behind the Philadelphia Eagles ahead of
So you have the Giants at least in the playoffs and roll the dice from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with Plax to answer your question that there are more teams than just San Francisco and Philadelphia. I think Dallas, if Dak's not throwing picks, our team you got to worry about. I think New Orleans with Derek Carr down there, if Michael Thomas stays healthy, our team you have to worry about. I love Brian Dable. The Giants might be the best coach team, especially come fourth quarter, which is how you win all those one-score games. Can't do that with a bad coach. And I hate to do this, but I got to look at a division that's going to have a new king wearing the crown. And that might be the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
No.
It might be the Minnesota Vikings.
They're going to be better. But when we get to talking the NFC North later, I'm going to give you my number.
All right. So to answer your question, I think San Fran and Philly are the best, but I think there's 2 or 3 teams that are nipping at their heels, and it would not shock me if one of those other teams, like we just mentioned, actually overtakes, whether it's San Francisco or Philly. Because remember, San Fran still got Brock Purdy, and while he had a great run, he's played 8 games in his NFL career.
Right.
Trey Lance has regressed, clearly.
Right.
So if the backup's Sam Darnold, that's a problem for San Francisco. And Philly, as good as they are, and I think they're loaded, and I think they had a great draft and acquired some good free agents and didn't lose a whole heck of a lot like a lot of people thought they were going to, it's still incredibly hard to get back there. So if you asked me to pick someone else, I would. And I'd say that respectfully, Philly might be the second most talented team in all football.
Okay, well, final question of the questions we need to have answered before the season.
Yes.
Will Aaron Rodgers and the Jets live up to the hype? Plaxico Burress, will it happen?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what kind of hype we're talking about here. I mean, I believe that Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets will play well, but you just mentioned how hard it is to get to a Super Bowl.
It is
obviously hard. You said the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to do something that hasn't been done in 20 years, what Tom Brady did 20 years ago.
Yep.
Well, the New York Jets haven't won a Super Bowl in 70 years.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, something like that.
54, but close enough.
I believe they will live up to the hype.
Yeah.
But for them to get to a Super Bowl in year one, I think it's tough. So maybe year two. He said a few years, so maybe year three. But I'm just saying in his first year, for them to get to that mountaintop, the pinnacle of the sport, and win the Super Bowl in year one. No.
Well, look, there's only 4 guys in the history of football that have ever gone to a second Super Bowl with a different team. Mm-hmm. And of those 4, only 2 have won it. Obviously, Tom Brady with Tampa, Peyton Manning going to Denver. Do you know who the other 2 are? I'll tell you. It's a good trivia question when you guys go to work today. Craig Morton went to Super Bowls with 2 different teams as the starting quarterback. And Kurt Warner went to Super Bowls with 2 different teams. He just didn't win it because of the Santonio Holmes catch in the back of the end zone for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we should remind you that former New York Jet quarterback Darrelle Revis, along with one of the great defensive linemen in the history of the game, Joe Klecko, who played multiple positions on the line, get into the Hall of Fame tonight. You played with and you competed against Darrelle Revis. I guess my question for you is, was he as good as we all thought he was? Recognizing he's in the Hall of Fame, but as a wide receiver, you look at cornerbacks differently. How did you handicap Darrelle Revis' game?
He was that good. And I had a chance to play against him in 2007 when he was a rookie when I was on the Giants. And then when I joined the New York Jets in 2011, when you watch him on film, there's nothing really explosive about him. And you say to yourself, what makes this guy so good? And I had the opportunity to practice against him every day.
Yeah.
And the first thing that jumped off the page to me is that, man, like this guy has extremely long arms. His arms are longer than mine. His technique is so sound, and he's just so patient at the line of scrimmage. He'll let you dance in front of him all day. And the strength to his game is posting you at the line of scrimmage. So then he gets on top of you. And when that's why a lot of guys can't get by him deep, because you have to throw the ball over top of him. And I'm 6'6", he's 6 feet, and his arms are longer than mine.
That's crazy, man.
And that's what made him so good.
Meaning you could be a yard behind him and it doesn't matter.
He wasn't fast, but he was technically sound, and he was strong at the point of attack. And that's why you don't see a lot of guys beating him deep for touchdowns, because he was just so patient at the line of scrimmage.
Well, good guy in the locker room, one of the guys?
One of the best.
Because, the issue for fans, he held out every year. There was an issue of, is he one of the 53?
I mean, listen, he deserved everything that he got in this league, and I watched him work day in and day out, and he deserves everything that he has acquired.
Plaxico's also old enough to have played against Rondé Barber, who's getting into the Hall of Fame this Saturday as well. And I think we've got some video of Plaxico Burress going up against Rondé Barber. Let's take a look right here. Oh, what a catch. There you go. There you go.
Man.
That was your catch, touchdown catch against Rondé Barber back in, I think, 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Good coverage. Woo! But you got 9 inches on the guy.
Yeah, so after the game, Rondé came up to me and said, "Hey, man, I didn't know you were left-handed." I said, me either. So I had to go up and get it, man, the best way that I could. It was actually a screenplay going to the underneath receiver, but Rondé Barber backed off like in basketball. He switched it, and he stayed with me. I was supposed to screen that guy. He went underneath. He's supposed to go over the top.
So you had to react to what he did.
Yeah, so the play's not for me. I'm going to screen the outside defender on top of the wide receiver outside, but he goes underneath of the screen. He's supposed to go over the top, and he's supposed to get the football. Teague's supposed to get the football.
See, that's one of those things, you don't even know that watching the game. How would a fan know that? Eli gets the right read, sees you man-to-man against a shorter cornerback, right?
We want man-to-man coverage, but when I go to screen the guy, he goes underneath, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? That's why I skipped. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I was like, you know what? Go to the corner then. And I threw it. That's how it happened.
There you go, Rondé Barber. Congratulations to Rondé, who gets into the Hall of Fame, and of course all the other Hall of Fame inductees who will be part of the game tonight. Of course, being interviewed, and then on Saturday they get to wear the yellow jacket as members of the Hall of Fame. We got much more coming up today for you. We're going to do a little NFL camping. Do the Cowboys trust Dak Prescott? No. We'll explain some other things as well right here on FS1.
Hey, college football fans, Joel Klatt here, and I am so happy to announce my new interview series, The Joel Klatt Show Big Noon Conversations. Every Monday, we will bring you a candid conversation with the most influential voices in college football. From Colorado's Coach Prime to Coach Saban down in Tuscaloosa, we sit down and discuss all things college football. Download The Joel Klatt Show Big Noon Conversations wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to the new Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel.
Hey, let's do ourselves a little NFL camping, guys, if you don't mind. A little whitewater rafting for the guys after the show. Let me start you off in Tampa. As Tampa Bay wide receiver Devin Tompkins is going to make a great catch to bail Baker Mayfield out right here. And there, wow, how about that? Into double coverage, underthrows it. But Tompkins makes the play, the flex, the yell, and reports out of Tampa right now are that Baker Mayfield is slowly losing his grip on the starting quarterback job against Trask out there. That's the competition, which would really be the end of his career at that point. But great job there by Devin Tompkins. From there, let's go to Pittsburgh, where Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson. It seems like the one-handed catch is all the rage in the NFL. And just another Steeler wide receiver who's got big mitts and can make big catches. Kenny Pickett right side, Deontay Johnson, left-handed catch, brings it in nice.
That's a left-handed, one-handed catch too.
There you go. From there we go to Detroit. Lions quarterback Jameson Williams is going to find Jameson Williams?
What? No.
For a touchdown?
Jared Goff.
I know, it's Jared Goff, of course, finding Jameson Williams for the deep touchdown. I mean, no joke. He's 7 yards behind everybody.
I'm going to tell you something, man. I watched this kid in college, and it was unfortunate for him that he tore his ACL in that championship
Jameson,
game.
yeah.
This kid, man, is extremely explosive. He's fast, and he has great hands, and he's a great athlete, man. So I can't wait to see him fully healthy. It looks like he is, but that guy can really play.
Dude, he's 7 yards behind everybody, and Jared Goff, who has a really good arm, I mean, right in the breadbasket, maybe even a half a yard short, but that dude's best, everybody.
He was the number one ranked wide receiver going into the draft before he tore his ACL in college.
There you go. All right, so from there we go to Dallas, where Dallas Cowboys defensive lineman DeMarcus Lawrence decided, I'm taking everybody out. Not just players, I'm taking out the coach.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
You do it, man. You gotta let them know, man, this is a man game. You coach and I play.
That's right.
And you send a message to the coach like, man, get your ass out.
Looks like Gary Kubiak a little bit right there, but in any event, hey, coach, get down out of my way right there. That's a very large man against the guy who's not very large. And the large man's going to win that battle all the time there, coach.
His sweatshirt says resilience on it as he gets thrown across the field.
It's just so demoralizing for the coach. Because they always think that they can play.
Yeah.
And when a player hits you like that, he was like, well, maybe I'm not.
It is a stark reminder that you can't play.
This is why they are professionals.
Exactly right. And from there, let's stay in Dallas for a second, guys. Jerry Jones, who does have his own radio show and does talk every day at Dallas training camp, was talking about the Cowboys' offense for this year. It's quote-unquote Dak friendly. He's going to have more opportunities to dump the ball off to the backs. He's going to have less to do before the snap and less to read after the snap. Now, that was an interview on a radio station down in Dallas. Let me give that to you in real-world terms, okay?
Please.
We have decided as a team to dumb the offense down and simplify it for Dak Prescott. That's what he's telling you.
He's basically saying that Dak Prescott will no longer be able to change the plays at the line of scrimmage.
No trust.
We've taken that responsibility away from him. And we are surrounding him in an offense which is probably a West Coast offense where he doesn't have to make any hot reads or any adjustments. all his hot routes and blitz adjustments are built within the offense. So we're taking all the decision-making off of him. He knows where the football has to go based off of the defensive coverage, and he's going to dump the ball off to the running backs when he's in trouble and he doesn't know what coverage they're in.
Now, there are those in Dallas that are saying that's exactly what the Cowboys did last year for Cooper Rush, who obviously got pressed into action with no experience because Dak got hurt, and the offense was really good. You know, they didn't take as many shots downfield, but the offense was productive.
Yeah.
And there are those in Dallas who cover the Dallas Cowboys on a regular basis, and fans, of course, you know, were online talking about what Jerry Jones said yesterday, who were reacting to it one of two ways. Why are we dumbing down an offense for a 5-6 year veteran who's supposed to be a franchise quarterback? The other side is, hey, it worked for Cooper Rush. Why not do it for Dak Prescott?
Hey, sometimes less is more. Simplify the offense. When they're in a single high defense and CeeDee Lamb is in single coverage, throw him the football.
Yes.
Put the pressure on him to make plays. He wants to be the best wide receiver in all of football. If he's in one-on-one, he should be getting open probably 9 out of 10 attempts and let him dominate football.
I would say this, and it's not, you and I are not there every day and have not spoken to Dak. I mean, you might have, I haven't. It does come across, this is just an objective observer who thinks highly of the Dallas Cowboys. Every single day this training camp, there's been a little Dak dig. A little dig at Dak, a little dig at Dak, a little dig at Dak. Then you have Micah taking him out at the knees, right? Then you have all the interceptions. Then you have Jerry Jones talking about we're in no rush to extend his contract. I don't think they trust him 100%.
This is a make or break year for Dak Prescott.
I agree.
I've said that about a month ago. If he does not go out and produce and at least win a playoff game or 2 playoff games and make
Get
a
to
run,
a championship game, right?
and the offense doesn't improve from what it was last year, and he throws 15 interceptions, Jerry Jones is right. They're not going to be in the rush.
Now they're stuck to him for another year contraction. I don't want to get in the weeds on it.
Of course.
But Jerry Jones is right, and I think you've been right all along. Listen, you could use the word trust, and maybe it's an overstated word. They don't trust him 100%.
No, obviously they don't.
When you lead the league in interceptions, only played 12 games, there's a good reason for it. When you publicly announce that, remember, Mike McCarthy didn't announce this. Dak Prescott didn't discuss this. The owner came out and said, look, we are trying to simplify this for a guy that we can't trust to make complicated decisions. That's all.
Hey, it worked for Ben Roethlisberger. That's all I'm going to say.
What's a worse dig, this or telling his preseason interceptions on national TV every single day?
Well, I don't trust him either.
I know you do.
Yeah, I'm just.
Preseason is his first pass in practice.
Oh, you're right. Practice
And by the way,
interceptions.
he came out and said, I am not going to have 15 picks this regular season.
He did.
He said 10.
10.
Right.
Even worse.
I thought it was
That's even
10.
worse.
I'm going to play in 5 more games and have 5 less interceptions. No, you're not. You're not. Now, to be fair, he has had years in his career
10 and
where his
11.
interceptions were 10 or less.
Yes.
So he has done that before, but I'm telling you, man, Cowboys have the talent to be very, very good this year.
They do.
But they do not trust their franchise quarterback.
And this is why they need Dalvin Cook. For that reason alone.
Oh, you don't stop.
For that
You
reason
don't
alone.
stop.
They needed to harden
That's
you.
why they need Dalvin Cook.
Just real quick, since you brought up Dalvin Cook, and it's worth 2 minutes of our time, more on him later in the show perhaps. There's something fishy going on here. There's something fishy going on here.
Because 48 hours ago, you were saying that he was going to be on the sideline tonight.
Yeah, there's something fishy. I'll tell you what I mean by that. It's been damn near 2 months since the Minnesota Vikings cut him and allowed him to become an unrestricted free agent, right? He's been rumored to go to 5 different teams. He has visited a number of teams. The Jets, of course, most recently, just a few days ago. Hasn't signed with anybody, meaning one of 2 things. He's waiting for a team that he's not met with yet, certainly on the table, or the offers that he's gotten. And remember, 2 weeks ago, the agent came out and said he's got multiple offers already on the table before he even met with the Jets. You can ask the question, why hasn't Dalvin Cook signed anywhere yet?
Well, maybe,
That's a fair question.
Maybe his number's too high. Or maybe there's something going on internally with him that we don't know. I think he has something pending that we're not sure about.
He has an issue where he could be suspended based on allegations of domestic violence.
So that would affect him signing with an organization because the organization will want to know if he will be suspended before they sign.
Right.
So maybe they're doing their due diligence
that's true.
As far as that's concerned. But I don't know why he's.
And remember, the situation that allegedly happened a couple years ago with his girlfriend at the time, they're no longer together, was really kept under wraps. I mean, most people in Minnesota didn't even know about it.
Right.
Then it explained why the Vikings let him go. But here's what's weird. He's currently not a member of the NFL. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's not signed anywhere.
Doesn't make sense.
So because he's not currently signed somewhere, the NFL doesn't have to say anything publicly about a potential suspension. I think most teams are operating under the suspicion that there's a good chance he would be suspended for X number of games. The problem, of course, is that the case against him has not gone through the court system yet. It is a he said, she said right now, and that's not enough to suspend somebody. So it'll be interesting what happens. But it's strange, not just that he didn't sign with the New York Jets, but the Dolphins have been rumored. The Patriots are rumored. You brought up Dallas yesterday. He hasn't signed anywhere. And as far as we know, now he's just home. There are no more trips planned. So it's an interesting thing that Dalvin Cook has not yet signed. I still believe he'll be on a United Airlines plane to Canton, Ohio tonight, and we will see him on the sideline rooting for the New York Jets.
Flying him coach.
Just maybe it's more of a dream and a hope, but just a thought. Coming up, first in football, the 4 biggest stories cooking right now in the NFL, other than the obvious. The New York Jets start their claim to the Super Bowl tonight in Canton against the Cleveland Browns. Plus, we'll be talking a little Bill Belichick. The answer to that is yes. You all know that already. Stay with us. We ain't going anywhere. Let's find Handsome Craig. There he is. Handsome Craig resides on the corner of First and Football. That looks like a Kansas City Chief practice. That's a Kelsey touchdown and a left hook. Now, you remember that happened a week ago, but Travis Kelce was asked again about getting in a couple brouhahas now during training camp. Here's what Travis had to say about it.
My mentality out there is to go out there and, be the best leader that I possibly can.
Oops.
And it got a little away from me in a certain instance. If it wasn't warranted, I went up to him and I didn't necessarily apologize, but I told him it wasn't, I won't do it again. That wasn't needed out there. But at the same time, it's football, man. I'm going to go out there and play with the aggression and the passion that I have, and that's going to be that.
Yeah, first off, he's rocking a nice porno mustache.
Not bad.
But if you guys put that video back up just for 1 second, the dude on the left never moves. Watch this. Play it. I don't care about the sound.
That's Marcus Robinson.
The guy on the left, that dude don't move. Like he's frozen.
Oh, the guy on the left. Okay.
Yeah, look, he never moves.
Who is?
That's my guy, Andrew Siciliano. He don't move.
Oh,
amazing.
He's like a statue.
Yeah, it's a cardboard cutout.
I don't know what it's, but yeah, that's Travis Kelce talking about being a leader. Let me go to a second and football right now. Mike McCarthy. There's 3 aspects of a football game. There's offense, there's defense, there's special teams. Mike McCarthy dropped special teams and talked about how the offense and the defense can help one another out. Here's Mike McCarthy. Go ahead.
I love it. I mean, we can't get enough. We can't get enough work. I mean, this is a perfect illustration why we're not practicing against other teams. I think the offense and the defense we will challenge each other at a very high level.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Dak Prescott throwing picks, the defense probably feels good about itself. He's really talking about a lot of teams will bring another team in or go to another team's facility. They'll practice for 3 days, have a live scrimmage towards the end of it. Guys will get in fights, get out of their system. He was basically saying, we don't need to bring another team in. Our defense is so good. Our offense is so good. Just going against each other is going to make everybody better.
Well, it seems like the defense has been dominating the offense already in training camp because Trayvon Diggs said they got that in a box. And I understand what Mike McCarthy is saying because basically Dallas probably has the best defense in football. And I had the opportunity to have an inter-scrimmage once in my career with the New York Jets when I was playing with the Giants back in 2007 or 8. But it does get a little redundant, a little repetitive seeing the same defense day in and day out, going against the same players day in and day out. And it's refreshing for the players to get an opportunity to go against some fresh blood, so to say. and see something different and actually bring an excitement to the practice.
Yeah, Robert Saleh told me when he was defensive coordinator of San Francisco, they got to that place we were saying about being redundant, the same thing over and over again. So Shanahan's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, it's the same thing every day. Yep. But he was trying to perfect his defense. So the next day, he blitzed on 17 consecutive plays. And it pissed off the offense, and he got suspended for a day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So they want it, but they don't always want it.
Because these practices are not scripted. If he goes into practice and he blitzes 17
consecutive plays,
then the offense is not even prepared for a blitz package of that magnitude.
Right. Yeah, I liked it, though. I liked it. All right, third in football, New England Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson. I was talking about the fact that he's really not a part of any of the practices right now, and it's confusing to him. So he told reporters, go ask Bill Belichick. We have the sound of that, too. Go ahead.
Honestly, you got to ask Bill Belichick. I don't know why I'm not practicing today. You got to ask Bill, really. I'm itching to get in there, especially when we have pads on. When we don't have pads on, I'm not really itching as much, but since the pads are on and stuff, yeah, I'll be itching to get out there, but, just stay the course.
Look, he had 1,000 yards last year. I'm not there. I can't speak for Bill Belichick or the Patriots. My gut is we don't want to waste your reps in summertime. You guys get beat up a lot. We need you to have another 1,000-yard season. So I don't need to see anything. I know who you are. I know what you got.
And Bill Belichick is always playing mind games with the media, players, and coaches, and basically trying to see what the guy's attitude is going to be.
Like how he reacts to that?
I mean, Bill Belichick is the same guy who benched Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl, so nothing surprises me.
Very, very true.
That he does.
Very true. By the way, the Patriots have been linked to Ezekiel Elliott. He came for a visit, didn't get signed. Dalvin Cook, which I never bought into, and even Leonard Fournette, which I think is as much, hey, you got a good rookie season, don't get too high on yourself, because we'll bring a veteran in here in a minute. And I think that's part of the mind games that you're talking about.
I mean, he has a possibility. I think Leonard Fournette will be a great fit for what Bill Belichick wants to do running the football along with Kareem Hunt. But you just have no idea what moves he's going to make.
Fourth in football, Von Miller, huge part, arguably the most important returning player for the Buffalo Bills. You know what happened to their defense when he went down and missed the last 7 games with the torn ACL in Week 12? Von Miller came out and said, listen, I'm coming back to play, but not just to be a tough guy. Here's Von Miller.
I'm not just going to go out there to be a tough guy. That wouldn't be smart. Year 13, I got 4 years left on 5 years left on my deal, and it just wouldn't be smart just to, go out there to be a tough guy. Like, when you see me out there, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and look, he's another one of those guys. He does not need summer training camp. He's coming off the torn ACL, and he is, I think we all agree, when Von Miller went down, that team lost its edge. It lost its soul a little bit, and I respect that DeMar Hamlin thing played a huge role in kind of the energy in Buffalo. But getting Von Miller back and his ability to get to the quarterback is a difference maker for the Buffalo Bills.
Hey, not to mention he's older.
Yep.
It's year 13. He tore his ACL in Week 12, so it hasn't even been a calendar year yet, and he's exactly right. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Why go out there and try to prove anything to anybody at this point, especially in the preseason games, and probably further injure himself? Just wait till you're healthy and get out there and play.
Now, the other note from Bills camp yesterday is a budding war between Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. You may remember a few months ago when they played in a Pro-Am, I believe at Pebble Beach, and Aaron Rodgers won the tournament. Josh Allen came in second. And back then, there were some accusations that Aaron Rodgers had lied about his handicap. So he got a couple extra strokes. Josh Allen yesterday in an interview doubled down on that and said not just a couple strokes. I think Aaron Rodgers got 7 or 8 extra strokes, lied about his handicap, and should give me the trophy.
Really?
Yes, so there's a little war now between the starting quarterback of the Jets and the starting quarterback of the Bills, and I love it.
That does not surprise
me. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You're not upset that your boy's a cheater.
I was when he wasn't the Jet quarterback, but now that he's the Jet quarterback, I'm on Team Rodgers.
I can see him doing that.
Yeah.
I can see him doing that.
He's like, I'm not a scratch golfer. I'm a 15 handicap. Stroke on every hole.
Yeah, so he got 7 strokes?
That's according according to Josh Allen,
my God.
he got about 7 strokes more than what his game deserved.
I will believe Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers any day of the week.
See? There you go again.
It's the mushrooms.
Hey, you're funny. All right, we got your mid-show headlines coming up. And, of course, the number one headline, the return of NFL football tonight. Canton, Ohio, Hall of Fame game. The Jets are favored over the Cleveland Browns. And football is back, and we'll run it right after this on FS1.
Welcome back to the Carton Show on FS1. Time for your mid-show headlines. And headline number 1, the NFL is back tonight. You got your Jets taking on the Browns at the Hall of Fame game, Craig. But here's the question.
What?
Is it still a must-win game?
It is. I know for a lot of you, it doesn't mean anything. I just happen to have football back. For the New York Jets, it means everything. It means a lot for Zach Wilson, too, for his career. He's got to go out there and show out tonight. Because these are the only chances he's going to get to play. And you can see a lot of Zach Wilson throughout the preseason, which is, we're getting 3 years ahead of ourselves. But it's important because you need to set the tone that we are going out there a full 60 minutes every game, no matter when that game is, no matter where that game is. We are different. We are no longer the same old Jets. That ain't us no more. You got to worry about us now. And it starts tonight. That's when it starts. Tonight.
I will agree with you on one accord is that for the player that this game is most important to is Zach Wilson. Because he has to go out and perform well, especially against the 2s and the 3s and the backups.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go out and play well tonight, I'm thinking he's probably going to play like the first 2 or 3 quarters. It's going to say a lot about where his career is headed as far as him being a franchise quarterback for the Jets moving forward. So he has to play well.
And listen, he's had the tutelage now of Aaron being like a mentor to him.
He's only been there 2 months. I
know, but it's something, Plax.
But he's still having an opportunity to learn and watch the way that Aaron Rodgers goes about his work.
Yeah, and it's going to be funny because let's assume it's the way fans are. Let's say Zach does play really well against backup players today.
Should.
I know how Jet fans are going to be.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Rodgers taught him well. We got a real backup quarterback. But I don't care about any of that stuff. My team's going to be wearing green. 2 of my players are going into the Hall of Fame, Joe Klecko and Darrelle Revis. And the march to the second Sunday in February, whether you think I'm overstating it or not, it's fine, begins tonight. By the way, there was an interesting video yesterday.
Yeah.
The Jets got there yesterday. I imagine the Browns are just driving down today. But they did a tour of all the exhibits inside the Hall of Fame there.
Very sweet.
So Aaron Rodgers and Sauce are walking past one of the hallways, and there's a whole thing of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That's really awesome. Already in the Hall of Fame?
They got Aaron Rodgers in the Hall of Fame, of course, as a Packer. But I'm just so excited. And listen, even if I didn't do this for a living, just as an American red-blooded man or woman, it's football. It's back. We have made it through another summer of baseball. Most of our teams stink, and they're not going to win a World Series. So football, again, has saved us. Plus, we have football. You know what that means?
What does that mean?
I don't have to hear another talk about Damian Lillard going to the Miami Heat.
Oh, my God.
Woo! Football's like the great savior of all bad sports conversations. We got football back. And the last time the New York Jets were in the Hall of Fame game? 1992. They beat the Eagles 42-14.
Congratulations.
Watch this play right here. Wide receiver's last name is Carpenter. I'm going to score a touchdown. What had happened
What's
was...
the ref doing?
The ref said touchdown.
This is on the ref.
And his son is like, now, he's like, Dad, you never told me you did that.
Right. Now, I will tell you this. I looked this up during the last break. The ref goes touchdown and blew the whistle.
On the 5-yard line.
Right?
Wow.
So, because he blew the whistle saying touchdown,
it stood as a
balls
touchdown.
down on the 5-yard line.
Oh, no.
There was not a touchdown for Carpenter, but the Jets were out to score 42 points anyway.
Carpenter was set up, man.
The rules have changed since.
Well, yeah, the ref went touchdown. The wide receiver's like, yeah, he didn't make the team, by the way.
But hey, I'll say this: this is not a must-win game for the Jets because historically, the teams that do well in the preseason they don't do.
There's
so
a lot
well
of truth to that. I won't argue that. The Jets were 4-0 that preseason, or 5-0,
Right.
and they went 4-12 on the
preseason.
year. Yeah, but to be fair,
You can't judge a team off the preseason and say, they're going to walk the dog in the regular season. That doesn't happen.
Hey, by the way, do you remember the great emergence of Jeremy Shockey in the Hall of Fame game as a rookie?
Well, that was physically punishing
Remember that?
another man.
Yes, he did.
We're not talking about the team as a whole going 4-0. When he ran over top of that guy, I believe his number 23 from the Houston Texans. I remember the play vividly. It was like, oh my gosh,
this dude's real. It was like Mark Bavaro's back.
Right.
But he comes from Miami. His name's Jeremy Shockey. Anyhow, I'm giddy because football's back. I'm sure wherever you are, it's a great night. Go out with your buddies, have some wings, responsibly have a couple brews or whatever you drink, adult beverage style, and rejoice that we've made it again to another season of NFL football.
Headline number 2. Reports are out there that Alvin Kamara will be expected to be suspended after meeting with Roger Goodell on Wednesday. Kamara was arrested after a 2022 fight in Las Vegas. Are the Saints still...
It wasn't even a fight. It was a jumping.
Yes, it was.
2, 4, 6. Those are going to be the numbers. One of those 3 will be the right number. He will be suspended. He's got to be suspended. From a legal standpoint, he did negotiate a deal with the DA there in Vegas, I guess. That it's a misdemeanor, so no felony, so no jail time or anything like that. But the NFL is going to suspend him. It's just a matter of how they negotiate the number of games. I still don't think that has a significant impact on them winning the division.
Think so?
But he's the second highest paid running back in football. He is a star, no doubt about it. And they do need him to do what they expect to do this year, which is help Derek Carr win his very first playoff game.
I would assume a 2-game suspension, maybe 4, but definitely not 6. The guys that are getting 6-game suspensions are violating, self-enhancement drugs and stuff like that. So I just think two games would be legitimate. But he just wants to get back on the football field and play.
Yep. And listen, they're a very, very good team. You don't think a lot about them because they haven't been a playoff team. Michael Thomas has been hurt and has barely played the last couple of years. But they quietly, it's funny. I was taking a look yesterday. I was bored at all the divisions and who's likely to have the best defense in all of football this year, because the Jets are, a top 10 defense. They are as well. And when you start looking at team schedules, and I'll do this more tomorrow, there's one particular team that stands out when you look at their schedule that is a lock to have the best defense in football statistically this year. On tomorrow's Carton Show.
Oh, what a team.
Yeah.
How could you
That's
do that?
right.
Well,
There you go.
Not a lock. No.
A lock.
I'm not
lock.
going with that.
Okay,
I'm not going.
You'll see. What else you got, Coach?
Headline number 3, happy 46th birthday to the greatest of all time,
Thank you.
Tom Brady. Brady's first birthday since the age of 22 that he's not an active NFL player, Craig.
Yeah, this is our first season without Tom Brady playing, and I'm sad. I'm sad because he's meant so much to the game of football. He's meant so much to the game of football.
He's ruined so many seasons for you.
He has ruined the better part of 20 seasons for me as a Jet fan, and if you're a Bills fan, and if you're a fan, frankly, of every other team in football. This is a celebration of the life and retirement of Tom Brady, because now that Tom Brady has retired officially and it's his birthday today, everybody else has a chance to win a Super Bowl. So thank you, Tom. We love you, buddy.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Not everybody.
Except for the Houston Texans. They cannot win a Super Bowl this year. That's correct. You're right about that. They're out.
They are.
They're out. They have no chance of winning a Super Bowl.
Cardinals do.
That's right. And the Rams have no chance of winning a Super Bowl this
And
year.
the Arizona Cardinals.
And the Arizona Cardinals have no chance. Oh, and the New England Patriots, they too cannot win a Super Bowl this year.
And the Atlanta Falcons.
And the Falcons and the Colts.
And the Raiders.
I think the Raiders, I wouldn't count the Raiders out just yet.
I would.
Jimmy G's a winner. Let's not just count winning.
Headline number 4, Mets owner Steve Cohen gave his State of the Union about the team yesterday. And I'll tell you right now, who he blames this team for, and it's not Buck Showalter. Here's Steve Cohen right here.
Buck's working hard. I got a 3-year contract with Buck, and we're only a year and a little over a half in. So we're status quo. I don't put it on Buck. I put it on the players.
I love that. Excuse me, by the way, because he's right. Max Scherzer didn't perform for the New York Mets. Justin Verlander didn't pitch as often as they would have liked for the New York Mets. Francisco Lindor has not been the player they thought they got from Cleveland. And on and on and on. You had the guy who was the manager of the year last year. Won over 100 games. He didn't suddenly forget how to manage a baseball team. It's always the players. It's rarely ever the incompetence of a manager. And Steve Cohen is right.
Well, he did pay those players. He paid Nimmo. He paid Scherzer. He paid. By the way, Scherzer and Verlander are two of the older pitchers in Major League Baseball.
Yes, they are.
He gave them both $45 million.
Yeah, which is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I was thinking about this yesterday driving home. In New York, you've had a basketball team and a baseball team bring in quote-unquote mercenaries, right?
Yes.
Scherzer and Verlander for the Mets, Kevin Durant, Kyrie for the Brooklyn Nets. Which experiment was worse?
Ooh, good question. I got to say the Nets, and the reason why the Nets is because of the age difference. I mean, you can say this about Verlander and Scherzer, but Verlander and Scherzer are both guys nearly in their 40s right now. Both KD and Kyrie are in their prime when they came in.
I agree. I think the Nets' failures to get past the second round of the playoffs with those guys is worse.
So you think Verlander and Scherzer came to New York and forgot how to throw the baseball?
Didn't forget, but weren't as good as you expected them to be. Scherzer, more specifically last year, when he failed to beat Atlanta, lost a big game out in San Diego, he was pitching in big games and did not pitch well.
I mean, Francisco is basically carrying this baseball team with one player. So how can you just say that the players are responsible?
Well, who else am I going to blame? I'm not blaming Buck Showalter. And I don't even like Buck Showalter.
You have to be able to put together a roster from an ownership standpoint to put a product out there that can compete. It is not the players' fault.
Well,
of course, it's always the players' fault.
Well,
it's not.
Listen,
get a better coach. Get a better manager.
I don't know about that.
You see, I would actually be a little closer to putting more on Billy Epler, the GM. He is the guy that did construct this team, not Steve Cohen.
This team came in off a 100-win season last year and added Justin Verlander to it. We're not blaming the manager that guys making $40 million a year stink. Sorry, not sorry. I ain't blaming the manager. You won 100 games and you added a 3-time Cy Young Award winner.
Yes, he did.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, let's blame him.
Okay. Okay.
Although his wife's hot, so I don't like to blame him because, I like to meet her. All right, in any event, that's right, I said it.
Good for him.
All right, what's coming up next? Who even knows? Oh, it's Thursday. The Jar is back, and Dalvin Cook is back. What does the Jar have to say about the future of Dalvin Cook? Is he going to be a Jet? Is he going to be a Dolphin? Is he going to be a Cowboy? Is he even playing this year? Find out after this. Discovered at the base of a Mayan temple years ago, we have obtained a jar. A jar that has the supernatural power to make proclamations. We are now at the mercy of the jar. That's right. Every Thursday, this bad boy shows up. And we just have to respond to what it says. You boys ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What are you doing over there? What's that? We can't see flags now. All right. Here we go. The jar. We start off with the jar right now. Number one out of the jar. The Hall of Fame game is the official start of the NFL season. And while no team playing in it has ever won a Super Bowl, the Jets will be first. I agree with the Jar. The Jar's money on that.
Weird.
The New York Jets start their undefeated season from the preseason through the regular season, through the playoffs. They will be the first team in the history of football to go 24-0.
Well, according to you, they're going to be the first team to do a lot of things.
That's right. That's right.
I have to disagree with you. I don't think
feel free, hater.
I do not feel that the preseason is the start of the NFL season. Opening day is the official start of the
Thursday night. Yeah, that's the game you're looking forward to.
Your first game on September 11th.
Well, because again, you're a player. As a fan, we have this day circled. I'm not doing the dishes again for 7 months.
Wait a second.
This is going to be great for me.
Okay, good luck.
Well, you live alone, so you have to do the dishes.
That is true.
I mean, he does.
Hurtful.
He doesn't live with anyone else. All right, here we go. I'm just saying.
I have a
or you
dog.
just, get Dixie plates. I don't know what you do. All right. The jar says it's more likely that Patrick Mahomes doesn't win another Super Bowl than it is that he wins 2 more Super Bowls.
Well,
that is dead on right.
We've already had that discussion. I agree that he's going to go back-to-back this year for the first time in 20 seasons, and I believe that he will eventually get to number 4, and that'll be enough.
Yeah, but the jar is saying it's more likely that he gets shut out for the rest of his career.
It's more likely, because there's 31 other teams, but he's going to win more.
This year,
he's that good.
I think the magic number for him is Joe Montana, and it's 4.
4. All right, so just to put it out there, you guys think it's more likely that he wins 4 Super Bowls than is stopped at 2.
Exactly.
Okay, well, the jar's upset with you, meaning watch where you walk across the street today.
The man's just getting into his prime.
Here we go. All right, let's go. Okay. Strikeout to the nuts is a cool way to get your first strikeout. But how come nobody's concerned about the catcher's health after that strikeout we showed you earlier in the show?
Because he's wearing a cup. He should be fine. If you're catching and you're not wearing a cup and you're not protected there, that's on you, and I feel nothing for you.
Well,
he's fine.
I mean, he got
reacted like it was nothing.
Nobody
like a
got
baller.
hit right in the coin purse by a baseball. That's gotta hurt.
It does hurt.
Somebody like you would rather see him crawling on his side in the fetal position.
Yes.
Because that's the kind of person that
And Craig, you know he's got a 7-second leeway window before the pain really starts. So we're not really seeing what happened.
If that were me, I'd be okay because I would have missed everything. But I'm assuming that guy's got more than I got. Yeah, like if that were Cam Newton catching, then he's got no problem.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, what's wrong with you?
Well, that's according to Cam Newton.
I didn't say Cam did.
You look it up. I can't get into it on the show. All right. Here we go. All right. Dalvin Cook will be a Jet. He just doesn't know it yet. Well, the jar's on fire today.
That jar, you need to turn it upside down and just shake it because that is absolutely incorrect.
Well, listen, until he's not a Jet, he could still be a Jet. You have to at least give me that, right?
Yeah,
well, he'll be jetting to another team.
He'll be on a jet.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless he goes to the Miami Dolphins, then he can just drive down the street.
Yes, which would make this incorrect from the Jet. Okay,
I can't wait to see him sign with anybody but the Jets. I can't believe what you're actually saying.
Hey, it's almost like you guys.
It's going to be a very somber show.
Yes, it is. Well, you guaranteed it. And the jar did too.
Let me just say this. Whether they get Dalvin Cook or not, the Jets are winning the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Dalvin Cook just makes it easier.
Okay.
But we're winning it regardless.
Nothing easy about winning the Super Bowl.
Maybe poor choice of words there, Plax.
Right.
Easier with him than without him.
Yes,
that doesn't mean
to win the division. Yes, not Super Bowl.
Now, I'm not saying it's easy to win it. I'm just saying the more talent you have, the easier. See,
talent does not always equate to win.
I agree, but it's the part that you guys aren't hearing me. Easier.
We're looking at the Mets and the Yankees. They have all the talent.
Yeah.
But they're not winning any game.
Exactly right. All right, here, boy, the jar is really a one-trick pony here today. Dallas is America's team, but the Jets.
God.
The Jets are the NFL's team this year, and they will be flexed into prime time in Week 5. Now, let me get into that real quick with you. That is the first week under the new rules that the NFL can flex a game into the nighttime game.
That's the game we want, though.
But here's the problem. The Week 5 primetime game right now is the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. You also have to make the decision 2 weeks in advance. So after Week 3, the NFL would have to decide that Jets-Broncos, which is now a rivalry, because Sean Payton opened up his mouth, right, about Nathaniel Hackett, is a bigger draw than the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers.
It is not. And the moment that Aaron Rodgers signed with the New York Jets, I think they're playing 6 or 7 primetime football games.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Jets on.
But if I may, Plax,
all those games.
I have the schedules here, if I may.
Okay.
After Week 3, I see that. There you go, right there. The Jets would have beaten the Bills, Cowboys, and Patriots. Okay, with the Chiefs on the horizon. If they're 3-0, they are the story in the NFL going into Week 4 against Kansas City.
What if they're 1-3?
Well, then they don't get flexed
after the first month.
Then they don't get flexed. Denver.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're 4-0. The Jets are not a better draw than the Dallas Cowboys versus San Francisco 49ers.
Except for this. If the Jets are 3-0 and Denver, good chance they might be 3-0 with that schedule. So you've got two undefeated teams. I look at the Dallas schedule. Dallas has the Giants, the Jets, and the Cardinals. They're not going to be 3-0. San Francisco has the Steelers, Rams, and Giants. They might be 3-0. I think Jets-Broncos is a better game.
All right, question for you, though. Russell Wilson is the QB of the Broncos. Don't you think the NFL kind of learned their lesson by putting the Broncos in prime time every week last year?
But now you've got Sean Payton. And if they get out to a 3-0 start, you now have this collision 2 weeks later between AFC supremacy.
And based off of the previous season that going 5-12, you would suspect that the Denver Broncos would have the easiest schedule in the NFL. So that's why they're probably going to start off 3-0.
Their schedule is pretty easy. Raiders, Commandos, at Miami, at Chicago.
Should be wins.
I could see them being 3-1 or 2-2 after that. Easy schedule. Okay, here we go. The Jar says, the Pac-12's falling apart. The ACC is dead. We are finally ready for a super conference housing the top 50 teams in America, and let's get going on that.
I just don't see how that's going to happen.
Isn't the SEC already a super conference?
Yeah, well,
right?
What super conference would consist of 50 teams? I don't understand.
You'd have to arbitrarily pick the top 50 teams in all the land and make them part of one conference and have like a playoffs and all that stuff.
That's not going
But
to work.
all the conferences are falling apart. We all know that.
Yeah, they are.
So there's going to be major changes. And interesting to see the Jargo college football there.
Yeah,
I mean, listen. The two biggest teams in the conference left, USC and UCLA going to the Big Ten, and obviously Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12 going to the SEC. Those are the top four money makers in those conferences. So Pac-12 is falling apart.
Yes, it is.
Okay, the Jar says something here. I'm not even sure what it means. I'm being told there's video support that the Jar brought along for this. It just says, take a look at Tim Duncan surfing. Okay, do we have that? Okay.
Okay.
He's not surfing. What is that?
That's behind a boat.
And
Yeah,
is that-
wakeboard
that might be the Virgin Islands.
Wait a minute, that's Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan looks great.
I'm calling BS on that. That ain't no Tim
That's
Duncan.
That
definitely
is Tim Duncan.
That is not.
You didn't know that was Tim Duncan in the other picture standing beside
Yeah,
Wally
remember?
Yamba
He's got the long hair
and David
running down. He
Robinson.
looks awesome.
That's Tim Duncan. And listen, that is extremely impressive because guys that are taller than me, the equilibrium is way off when you're standing on a surfboard or a wakeboard. So kudos to that man that's standing on it.
That's Tim Duncan?
Yeah.
Put that picture back up on the
7
screen.
feet standing on a
awesome.
wakeboard.
Yeah.
He's got the coolest hair in
I've
the
never
world.
seen, the reason I question is because of what you just said.
Yeah.
I never seen a 7 foot tall guy surf.
Talking about hang 10, I know his toes have to be hanging off the side of the wakeboard.
He's got claws hanging onto the bottom of it. And I believe the Jar has, this looks like it's the last one. Once again, the Jar says, Cody, Shohei Ohtani clearly is not worth the money. The Angels are still behind the New York Yankees. They've lost 2 consecutive games. And the Jar goes on to say, name the last superstar to be the MVP of a World Series.
Corey Seager. Dodgers.
He's not a superstar.
Paid $300 million a year later. He's in Texas. He was absolutely a superstar.
He's batting like 210. He ain't a superstar.
That's like 300 in today's day and age in Major League
I think you got to
Baseball.
go back to David Ortiz.
He was definitely
I
a
think he's the
superstar.
last legitimate superstar
Miguel Cabrera?
that you have. I'm just looking at it here. Pena, Soler.
Okay, Soler. Yeah.
Soler.
Neither superstars.
Seager.
Yes.
Strasburg. Pierce.
Strasburg was a
Springer,
star.
there are no superstars.
Not Zobrist.
Cabrera?
Did he win a
I think back in like 2003, unfortunately. So
Cabrera's never been an MVP.
Big Poppy, though, yeah.
So David Ortiz. David Ortiz did it in 2013.
Yes.
So that's 10 years of World Series champions without a rock star being the MVP.
Wait.
You don't need Ohtani.
What? Yeah, you do need Ohtani. Any team that can get their hands on Ohtani should get Ohtani. But you're sitting there talking about like this guy's going to he's not going to get to the World Series because the Angels traded for like 5 Rockies.
Yeah.
The Rockies are awful.
You know what's interesting, though? We all knocked the New York Yankees. They're a major disappointment. They're 3 games out in the loss column, 3.5 games out
Yes, they are.
of that last wild card spot. And it's depressing and it stings. And let's fire Aaron Boone. And let's kick Brian Cashman to the curb. And Hal Steinbrenner, the owner, is a loser and all that stuff, right? The Angels have the best player in the history of baseball, and they're behind the Yankees.
They are.
That's
I'm glad
true.
you agree that he's the best player in the history of baseball.
You just said it out loud.
I take it back.
Too late.
Too late.
I
It
take
helped
it
make
back.
your point.
You finally jumped on
I never
board.
saw anybody better than Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., or Willie Mays. But he's pretty good, this guy.
You saw Willie Mays?
I never saw Willie Mays play.
I was getting ready to say.
No, I used to have a catch with Willie Mays in the neighborhood, but that's another story for another day.
Bonds and Griffey
when we
were
start
great.
the Carton Storytelling Podcast sometime this fall, just look out for that. It's going to be very popular. All right, coming up, now that football's back tonight with the Hall of Fame game, we go back around the horn with those something we like to call First and Football. Give it to me, Jar. Great job earlier today by the women of Morocco.
Oh, yeah?
Who are not known as a soccer powerhouse. They took out Germany today, and that's never a bad thing. So give the gals from Morocco credit, and congratulations. Morocco advances.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who
yeah.
knew?
I didn't know.
Gave them Das
I was
Boot.
watching the game earlier today, and I was like, go Morocco. Yeah. Yeah.
Big Morocco guy.
Big
huh?
Morocco
Good
guy.
For you.
Love Morocco.
For
Love
more
Morocco.
reasons than one.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
Thank you very
I
much.
bet.
All right, let's show everybody a picture of handsome Craig. Where does he live? I believe he lives on the corner of First and Football. There he is right there. There he is right there. That's Patrick Mahomes. You've heard of him. Travis Kelce spoke yesterday about Patrick Mahomes and what sets him apart other than all the obvious stuff. Here's Travis Kelce.
It just feels like his mind is working faster than everybody else's out there. It really does, man. And that goes to the accountability he puts on himself to understand the playbook, understand what he's seeing. He just hones in on the task at hand, whether it's situational awareness or just understanding everybody's job on every single play.
Look, Mahomes is enough accolades. You can't say enough good things about the kid. 41 touchdowns last year, led the league. Over 5,000 yards passing, 5,250 exactly, led the league. But here's what's interesting. You've got your security blanket, of course, in Travis Kelce. And then who else? It's like the New England thing with Tom Brady. Oh, we got Tom Brady. We can make anybody a star in that offense. Who are the other stars?
I mean, look
What
at
are we
Tom
doing?
Brady. Look at who he had at wide receiver. You gave him Randy Moss, and he had the best statistical offense in NFL history.
Going back to Tom Brady, right?
But he had Givens, he had Troy Brown, Mike Vrabel was catching touchdowns, and not until he got Gronk did he really, solidify himself as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But when I hear Travis Kelce that say that his mind is thinking faster than anybody else,
Yeah.
What it says to me is that Patrick Mahomes, you don't see him force the football. He always throws the football exactly where it's supposed to go, based off of what he's seeing and the coverages.
Yeah.
He's not just forcing the ball to Travis Kelce. Andy Reid is drawing up plays to affect one or two players on the defense in the secondary, and he's making those reads based off of what he sees, and he's throwing the football to the correct.
And I think to further your point, Plax, it's a really good point. We fall in love with the trick plays or the acrobatic plays, the stuff he does that's unscripted when your base of defense gets through or he has to improvise and make a play. But that represents like a very small percentage of all the times he drops back with the ball in his hands, obviously, right? And I watched the documentary. I saw, like you guys probably did, quarterback and all that. And what's interesting is, what sets, I think, the great quarterbacks apart from the really, really good quarterbacks, it's that they're aware of everything going on. Exactly. They know exactly what defense you're in. Like, we showed the play earlier today from your career when you scored a touchdown against Rondé Barber. Yeah. You and Eli Manning saw the same thing at the same time and adjusted the play without an audible.
Yeah,
right?
The play's not even for me.
Right.
Right.
That's the level of football we're talking about, and not everybody's got that.
Right, man. It's countless times you just watch him make plays that aren't there. And that's why you don't see him making a lot of bad decisions, throwing interception, because he just trusts what he sees and he's just reacting to the defense.
All right, let's go to our second in football. There's trouble in Green Bay, everybody.
Uh-oh.
And that, listen, apparently the offenses look terrible thus far in practices. They've not played a game yet, so probably a bit of an overreaction. But Jordan Love, who's the author now of that embarrassingly bad offense in training camp, says it's very frustrating. I think we're all pretty tired of it. Kudos to the defense, though. But obviously it's disappointing as an offense collectively as a whole, word soup. It's definitely an area that we need to step up and figure out how we can turn that thing around. That's a lot of words to say, we stink. Because that's what it is right now.
That is not good.
No, it's
I
not.
do not like what I'm hearing from Jordan Love. Is this the same offense that Aaron Rodgers stunk in last year? Or is the offense that you are no good in as a quarterback? And he's saying, we're all tired of it. Who is we? Who is he talking about?
Right.
Is he throwing LaFleur under the bus or the offensive coordinator? He's very frustrated with the offense. He hasn't even started an NFL game yet, and he's already frustrated with the offense.
Yep. He's frustrated.
And the season is a month away.
Yep.
So what,
And by the way,
how are they going to fix it?
They're barely even tackling one another.
I don't even think he has the respect to even come out and say those things that we're all disappointed.
Yeah.
You haven't even started an NFL game
That's
yet,
right.
and you're already complaining about the offense, or maybe you're just not as good as you thought you were.
Yeah, well, listen, as a long-suffering Jet fan, knowing that the Green Bay Packers have been blessed for 30 years with 2 first-ballot Hall of Fame quarterbacks, seeing them suffer a little bit, I sign up for that.
I like it.
I'm good with that.
I can't believe we said that.
Yeah, well, it's also now, he's got a microphone in front of his face every day now.
Right.
That's something new for him
I think
also.
he's going into his 4th season. This is going to be his first year as a full-year, tenure quarterback.
Yep.
And for him to come out and just basically throw the offensive coordinator under the bus and Matt LaFleur.
I will say this. You've experienced, of course, every stage of your career. Cody, you at a different level as well. Of
course.
You know, we sometimes forget that Jordan Love for 3 years never got asked a single question.
Right, that's right.
Now, all of a sudden, you're expected to answer questions every day.
Right.
And that's what happens sometimes.
Tough shoes to fill, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers leaving. But he has to understand that he is the spokesman for that team.
I think we can all agree. We all hope the Green Bay Packers come in dead last in the division this
Yes,
year.
I do.
Just so they can taste it a little bit. A little taste.
They need
a
it.
little taste.
Just for once. Some humble
New
pie.
England also. A little taste. Just taste what it feels like to be us for the last 30 years. That's all.
That cheese don't taste real good right now.
All right, let's go to third in football. You guys know that the starting quarterback of the Detroit Lions is a guy named Jared Goff. That's correct. And Jared had to say, our success last year doesn't mean a damn thing this year. Listen to Goff.
And externally, sure, people are more excited. But for us, what we did last year has no credence to what we do this year. I've always thought this league is about runs. It's about getting on win streaks and hopefully not losing streaks. But some teams do, as we've seen. And because we were on a win streak last year, basically at the end of the year, doesn't mean we're going to start on a win streak this year.
First off, that was Ryan Gosling from Barbie. Wow. That wasn't even Jared Goff.
That is high praise for you, Craig.
But here's the deal. They started 1-6. That's Ryan Gosling right there. I don't know. I guess he's playing a quarterback in a new movie or something. But they finished hotter than any team in football. They finished the last 10 weeks of the season 8-2. Jared Goff, in the second half of the season last year, 17 touchdown passes, 1 interception.
What a year.
That's why they love him right now, because he was him for the Detroit Lions. Now, to be fair, they weren't a playoff team, although they came very, very close to finally breaking that streak of not making the playoffs. And it's all on that guy's shoulders. Jared Goff proved what a lot of people didn't think. He's a really good quarterback.
Hey, Jared Goff is exactly right. Just because you finished the season last year 8-2, and you throw 17 interceptions in the last 10 games of the season, it means absolutely nothing. Touchdowns going into the season. But still, I have to go with my gut. And something just tells me that Tim's favorite running back, Justin Fields, and the Chicago Bears will win the NFC North this year. I got the Lions 2.
Wow.
The Minnesota Vikings 3. And just like you said 2 minutes ago, the Green Bay Packers coming in dead last in the division, especially based off of what Jordan Love just had to say about his offense. So, Justin Fields, I'm giving you flowers. Make me look good. The Chicago Bears will win the NFC North for the first time in a very long time.
All right, so take Green Bay out of this for a second because people expect them to have some troubles because Jordan Love's there, and it obviously doesn't look good right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're with you on that, okay? Minnesota's still Minnesota.
I know.
They still got Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson.
And Justin Jefferson, he's working on being the best player in the NFL at wide receiver, but no Dalvin Cook.
Right.
And the mere fact that he didn't include his quarterback
in the top five. Okay.
So he's going to get less passes thrown in his direction.
Kirk Cousins is like, I'm not a top five quarterback.
I'm going over here.
Let me dump it off to somebody else.
Seems like a bad idea.
Trust me.
Chicago was a bad football team last year.
I believe Justin Fields is going to take that jump. It's going to be that he's going to be that good this year.
All right.
Well,
listen. He only threw for about 2,000 yards last year, ran for over 1,000, obviously. And the expectation now is we've rebuilt the team. We've brought a lot of talent in. You've got weapons, guys like DJ Moore, who comes over from Carolina. You got to be better. He's got to be better.
He will. He will be. I believe him. 3,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah, it has been, I guess, 5 years since the Chicago. Is it only 5 years? Is that right?
Yeah, it feels so much
since
longer.
The Chicago Bears won a division. I thought it was longer than that. But I'm being told he's not always right, our researcher. But they're telling me that Mitchell Trubisky led the Bears to a division title 5 years ago. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. All right. Fourth in football, the aforementioned Justin Jefferson. Ooh. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good coverage, by the way. But Justin Jefferson talked about how he can always get better, as good as he is. Watch this.
Ways to better my game, always trying to find the ways to learn new moves and to be better at my craft. So there's always room for improvement. I'm not the most perfect guy on the field. There's sometimes where I mess up. I'm human.
Yeah, no doubt about it. To be fair, though, he did lead the league in receptions last year with 128. He led the league in receiving yards last year with 1,809. And listen, like Jared Goff said, it doesn't mean you have the same success this year, but you talk about a career start and a career arc, 88, 108, 128. He's already got 5,000 yards or damn near 5,000 yards receiving in a 3-year run, which is pretty damn good.
Man, you think I never thought that I would see Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson numbers in the first 5 years of their career, and he's exactly right, man. Listen, he has that chip on his shoulder to continue to keep getting better, and that's what makes great players great. Being coachable, receptive to information, and processing it all, and continuing to get better and better every year, like Tiger Woods, Tom Brady. Yeah. Always remaining coachable and always wanting to get better.
How much different is his game than your game was? Outside of size, obviously.
Oh, he has like the stick at the top of the routes. He can go up and get the football. He's shifty, and he's great in the open field. And obviously, we definitely, after watching that catch, we have the same hands. Absolutely.
Is that right? Yeah. You guys have the same hands?
I mean,
you got to stick them on the palms?
Everybody's doing the one-handed catch, but if you go look at the tape, guys have been doing that over time.
Yes.
And just, when OBJ made the catch, that's something like everybody's been, trying to, pattern or craft this one-handed catch into the game. But I was watching Art Monk do this back in the 80s, so it's not a new thing.
By the way, it's almost impossible, if you really consider it, for him to have a better year statistically. No one's ever had a 2,000-yard receiving.
Johnson.
Did he have one? I apologize. Calvin Johnson did. You guys are right. I apologize for that. He's the only guy to have 2,000 yards receiving.
Jerry Rice.
And now you have him coming off of 1,800 yards, 128 catches. Like, these are numbers that have really never happened.
Yeah, I would say the one reason why he won't get 2,000 this year, or he will have less than 1,800, is because now he has become the focal point of that offense for defense. No Dalvin Cook, just like I said. Kirk Cousins isn't one of the elite quarterbacks in this league, but Justin Jefferson has the ability to make plays when nobody thinks he's going to catch the football. And I think that's what separates him from being some of the great wide receivers in this league. But now teams are going to be forced to double, maybe even triple team him. And who are the Minnesota Vikings going to get offense from outside of him?
All right, let me just, for factual sake, and I'll take the heat on this one. I got something wrong. And it's the first time in 9 months it's happened, so I have to own it. Cooper Kupp is the only guy in NFL history with 2,000 yards in a season.
Really?
Calvin Johnson got to 19 and change, but he didn't get to 2,000. So Cooper Kupp
Jerry Rice
went
had
to
2,000?
Cooper Kupp had over 2,000 receiving yards. He's the first player in NFL history. Now, Larry Fitzgerald had 1,977.
Oh, Fitz.
Okay?
Oh, Fitz.
Jerry Rice had 1,965. So there you go. But Cooper Kupp, in the year that he did it, had 159 catches and went over 2,000 yards. It includes the playoffs. It is the first time
that doesn't count then. That doesn't count.
Then nobody's ever done it.
It doesn't count.
Wait, hold on.
Wait a minute. Go
ahead.
Your yards are during the regular season.
Then I have to say this.
The playoffs do not count.
Then Plax.
If he got the 2,000 yards in the playoffs, then he has not had a 2,000-yard season.
Okay. Then, going back to my original comment, I wasn't wrong. I was right.
Congrats.
Nobody
It doesn't
has
count.
ever had 2,000 yards in a regular season.
It doesn't count.
Once again, I'm never wrong.
Congratulations.
Now,
11
to be
months
fair,
rolling.
you got an extra game to do it.
If that's the case, then I know Jerry Rice got the 2,000. If we're including playoff yards into the regular season, all those guys that you just mentioned would have been over 2,000 yards. That's why they did not, because I'm pretty sure, almost positive, that the San Francisco 49ers were in the playoffs when Jerry Rice was playing.
Jerry Rice, when he had 1965, did it in 17 total games.
Right.
So he did not get to 2,000. Only Cooper Kupp has, and that's with playoff games.
No.
So my original statement.
Doesn't count.
Right. So no one's ever done it.
You're still right.
Congratulations.
You got lucky.
I got very lucky.
With my information, you got lucky.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
We're a team, Plax. We work as a team. Right? There's no I in team, just a big M and an E. Coming up, you got your late show headlines and the reality that for all of us sitting at home wondering when it was going to end, it ends tonight. Football is back. And we got you covered with tonight's Hall of Fame game right after this on FS1.
Welcome back to the Carton Show on FS1. Time for your late show headlines. And headline number one, Browns face the Jets tonight in the Hall of Fame game to kick off preseason football. Craig, is there something legitimately to watch for from your Jets tonight?
What is there to watch for?
Yeah, what do you want?
The beginning of the dominance of football at the NFL level.
With the third stringers?
Listen, I don't care who we're playing against.
Okay.
You put a football on the field, you blow the whistle, we're men or women, let's play. And that's what it's all about tonight. Tonight is day one of the quest for a Super Bowl championship. And that's how you have to view it. And anything less than that is going to be unacceptable. Now, I'm expecting a ho-hum, relatively boring, low-scoring game tonight. But the Jets will win it.
Okay.
And we will put everybody on notice. Don't mess around. Or, as they say where I come from, Plax, go ahead and mess around and find out.
I think you're probably going to be more concerned with what Aaron Rodgers is wearing on the sideline than the actual football game.
Yeah, he's going to be wearing a Jets sweatshirt that says Gotham Football. That's what he's going to be wearing.
Good look.
Yeah, and after the game, it's going to be a celebration of Robert Saleh. Zach Wilson's going to come out of there looking pretty good. And the New York Jets have 4 more of those preseason games just to get it all right so that people know we're not going to be trifled.
And tonight is not the start of the NFL season. It's the first game of the preseason.
Listen, you can poo-poo it all
I don't get excited for games like this.
You didn't get excited for anything until the regular season started.
There you go. There you go.
So you're very consistent on that.
They do mean a lot for some of these players because a lot of these players will make the rosters on these two teams based off of these.
Look, there's an individual aspect of it. There are guys that are fighting for their careers in these games. And,
I do understand.
And while we don't know a lot of their names, collectively, this game does mean a lot to those guys who are right in the bubble. Are they practice squad guys making $500 a week? Or the NFL players making a couple $100,000 over the course of a year.
And also putting good film out there for other teams so you can go sign somewhere else.
Yeah, there is one name. He's not a household name by a long shot because he's been a real disappointment through his very, 3-year career in New York. It's a guy that was supposed to be our stud Anthony Munoz left tackle, and that's Mekhi Becton, who has dropped a whole bunch of weight. He still has some, knee concerns and foot concerns, but he's going to be on the field tonight, and they view him as a starting right tackle now.
Okay.
The one weakness, if the Jets have one, and I can own this, is they do not have a great offensive line.
Okay.
It's the only weakness this team has, and I recognize that's a pretty big weakness.
That's not good because your guy's 38 years old. He's not as nimble as he used to
and
be.
He's got heavy legs.
He's not nimble as he used to be. Listen, and if I'm Zach Wilson, based off of what I saw yesterday, this kid Brownlee from Mississippi.
Jason Brownlee, right?
If he's in a game with Zach Wilson, throw this young man the football to make yourself look good.
Yeah, I think Brownlee does make the team just based on what we've seen in training camp. But you're right. That's a kid that could be like a Victor Cruz was for the New York Giants. Unheralded, signed free agent, doesn't get drafted, and all of a sudden makes himself a nice career. Brownlee has looked very, very good. But look, whether you're a Jet fan, whether you find, my fandom obnoxious at this point, you're tired of it, whether you're a Cowboy fan, I don't care who you root for. Collectively, tonight is a big night.
Yeah.
Because for all of us, we love NFL football. And tonight, it is officially back. And I watch every second of it, too. Yeah, I will not miss a play in tonight's game.
How big is it for Zach Wilson himself?
It's big for Zach, but Zach's not the story to us.
No?
Like, he's the backup quarterback for the New York Jets.
He's not the story.
He's not.
He's the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The backup quarterback position has become the most coveted position in all of sports. How do we know that? When the Aaron Rodgers rule got implemented, when he got his collarbone broken, that is why this quarterback position, all these hits on him, that's why that's not happening anymore. If Aaron Rodgers does go down, these games are important for Zach Wilson.
And listen, I'm going to watch this critically. I hope Zach Wilson looks
I won't watch
confident.
a play. I won't watch a play of the game.
I'll tell you what happened tomorrow. Don't you worry about
Not one play.
And here's what I want to say.
With you. I won't watch one single play.
You're going to watch it. Come on. The Burris family's going to be on the couch.
I will watch it in the morning, the highlights on the way into the show. I will not watch one single play of the game.
Yeah, you will.
No, I will not.
Okay, then I'm going to call you when I kick off.
You don't have my number.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I'm going to FaceTime you. I'm going to call you. I'm going to be a nudge to you. I'm going to be like, yo, Plax, it's CC. You see that play?
CC.
Sabathia? What's happening, man?
You have his number?
Come on, man. I can't give away all my secrets, man.
Anyhow, football's back tonight.
Yes, it is.
We're all pumped up. And I should say this, my focus, of course, is all New York Jet related. The Cleveland Browns come into this year. We haven't really talked about them at all. We should, just for 30 seconds. This is a significant year, not just for their coach, but for the franchise, that you now have a rust-free Deshaun Watson leading the Cleveland Browns, and we have no idea what those Browns are going to look like with a healthy, rust-free, ready-to-go Deshaun Watson.
Does he play tonight? I have no idea. If he does play, I wouldn't be surprised. But from everything that I'm hearing, Deshaun Watson is looking like his old self 4 or 5 years ago. And if he gets back to that elite status of throwing for 4,000 plus yards, then listen, the AFC North is up for grabs.
Look, they can run the ball with Chubb. They do have a very good defense.
They have the best offensive line in football.
Great offensive line. They have young, talented wide receivers. Don't forget, they acquired Elijah Moore from the Jets, and he's had some games where he looked like he was a legit, emerging star. You got Amari Cooper. If Deshaun Watson is back, the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, They got a problem on their hands.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's a black and blue division. That's what they call it.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to watch that division. That division secretly could be the best division in the NFL this year. Go ahead.
Well, headline number 2, there's a report that Alvin Kamara could be expected to be suspended after meeting with Roger Goodell on Wednesday. But question for you, Craig, if that happens, are the Saints still the team to beat in the NFC South?
They're just the class of division. And let me just break this down for you in layman's terms. When you are summoned to the NFL office, you are getting suspended.
Okay.
It's just a matter of how many games is the suspension, right? They don't bring you in and go, hey, thanks for coming in, have a great season. Right. They bring you in because they want to see you man-to-man, face-to-face, see if they can judge your character at all, which is probably unfair in a one-time meeting in that regard. But they want to ask you about what happened. They've seen the videotape, get your stance on what took place and why. And then based on that, they're going to levy a suspension. My gut is at 4. They might ask for 6 and agree on 4, but he's going to be suspended a couple games.
Well, I think it's a 2-horse race in the NFC South between the New Orleans Saints and Tampa Bay. The Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta
Even
Falcons
with the quarterback situation in Tampa?
They're toss-ups. Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers aren't even on the barometer right now of competing to win that division. So I'm going with the New Orleans Saints. Even if Alvin Kamara gets suspended for 4 or 6 games, I think they still win the division.
I'm with you on that. And you can't discount the fact that you got Derek Carr, who actually has something to prove now, right? He's never won a playoff game. Only went to one playoff game. The ending in Vegas was ugly. It ticked him off. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's still a very, very good quarterback. If Michael Thomas is healthy, you have, again, a very good defense. They're going to be a very good team. And I agree with Plax. I think they win that division.
Well, headline number 3, happy 46th birthday to the greatest quarterback who ever played the game, Tom Brady, also Fox brethren. Say something really.
Stop clapping.
Why?
Well, I'm celebrating that he's not playing football anymore. For the first time in the last 20 years, Tom Brady is not playing football. And I want to wish him a very happy birthday today.
Hey, we spoke about dominance earlier of teams in the division. You just said that the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Denver Broncos, 15 times?
Yes.
I wonder how many times the New England Patriots beat the New York Jets.
Don't do it.
Before the New York Jets beat them.
Or
the Miami Dolphins.
But I'll tell you this.
It's double digit. It has to be double digit.
It's been a while since we've beaten the Patriots. Troy will give me the exact answer. I don't think it's 15, but it has been a while. But remember something I have in my back pocket that nobody can ever take away from me.
What's that?
Mark Sanchez and the New York Jets beat Tom Brady in Foxborough in a playoff game.
It happened.
I'm living off that win for the last decade. And it's right there in my back pocket. Now, Troy, our researcher, who got fired earlier, but we let him back in the building. So he's redeemed himself. The New York Jets have not beaten the New England Patriots since 2015. It has been 14 consecutive wins.
I said double digits.
Yeah.
I said double digits.
I don't like you, Black Sabbath.
But listen, it should not be 15.
Bang.
It should not. It should not get to 15.
Better not be 15.
If it gets to 15, it's going to be ugly.
If it gets to 15, I'm going to have a tough day.
And I want to be here for that day, please.
All right, we got much coming up. We got problems down in Dallas with the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, and we've got Like It or Spike It. Still, plenty of stuff to do right here on FS1. You guys suck. I mean, that's just what it is. I did it once because I was at the end of a long photo shoot, and you guys against me. That's Plaxico Burress. You may remember he actually caught the game-winning touchdown in a Super Bowl. Every kid's dream.
Legend.
That's Cody Decker. He had 943 minor league home runs. Nobody else on the planet has ever hit more. Jerry Jones does not like his starting quarterback, Dak Prescott, and he admitted yesterday, we have dumbed the offense down for Dak Prescott. It's Dak friendly is the words he used. He's going to have more opportunities to dump the ball off to the backs. He's going to have less to do before the snap and less to read after the snap, meaning we're going rudimentary first grade offense, Plax. What's that?
Mike McCarthy is basically saying, listen, y'all not going to blame this on me. I'm going to make it simple enough for him so that he can't mess it up. And we're just going to just dumb it down for him, take away all the quarterback responsibilities and change the plays at the line of scrimmage. You know what? Dump it off to the backs. Let them be elusive. But who are the running backs?
Right.
We don't know. We got Deuce Vaughn. Other than that, who are the running backs?
Well, they're expecting Tony Pollard to play, obviously, but he hasn't yet. But there's an expectation that he will play week 1 for them. So Dak has responded, not specifically to Jerry Jones' comments, but there's been a lot of criticism, to be fair. It's part of being the Cowboys quarterback, of course, without winning a Super Bowl. And he responded this morning. I'm going to read directly from what he said. Quote, I never want anything easy. I never want anybody to give me the shortcut to it. I'm embracing everything that's coming my way. Negativity, criticism, whatever it may be, I'm getting better.
There is no shortcut, especially playing this game and anything in life, and especially playing quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, playing quarterback in the NFL is probably the hardest thing to do in professional sport outside of hitting a baseball. And it's it's not easy to do. And he's going to take some criticism just because he has that star on the side of his helmet. Being that they're dumbing down the offense for him, making it simple, taking the mentality of less is more. We want to see him throw more touchdowns and less interceptions.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's, when you're the Cowboy quarterback, it is different. I don't care what anyone says. They are different. They're the Cowboys. Their owner is different. But when you come out and you acknowledge that you don't have the ultimate of confidence in the guy, you're not looking to re-sign him just yet because you want to see how he performs, and then you publicly admit, we're going to make this offense as simple as possible so even Dak Prescott can succeed. You're telling the world you don't believe in this guy.
Why would you be in a rush to sign him knowing that he's coming back next year and you got to pay him $60 million?
I'm with you.
$60 million.
But it was a storyline. Would the Cowboys, let him come back as a lame duck quarterback or sign him long term? They're not gonna.
I'm going to say this. Listen, if he does not win a Super Bowl this year, a Super Bowl,
got to win it all.
Next year will be his last season as the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, unless you want it next year, right? Because you're not going to not bring a Super Bowl winning quarterback back. But I understand
it has happened.
I understand what you're saying, but this is why you got to love Jerry Jones, especially 80-year-old Jerry Jones. He don't care.
No, he doesn't.
He came out and told you, I don't trust my quarterback. I told Mike McCarthy, make it simple. Meaning, I know what happens now inside the Cowboy huddle. It goes like this. Hey, Plax, 5 yards, turn around. I'm going to throw it to you.
Hey, you know that play call shooting form is going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And the whole office is going to have one on. G.
Break. On one. Never on two.
Nope.
Always on one. But so that's your situation with Dallas. One other quick note, or two other quick notes, if I may. Dalvin Cook still, as of almost noon now, Eastern time, has not signed. And there's not even any scuttlebutt about where Dalvin Cook's going to go, other than what you said yesterday, that don't count Dallas out.
The Dalvin Cookless Jets?
Yes.
And it hasn't changed. Miami Dolphins or Dallas Cowboys. I don't understand why he hasn't been signed yet. There's something going on.
It's troubling that he hasn't.
It's weird.
Him and his agent not coming to the forefront, giving us information. But something's going on we don't know, but hopefully he'll be signed pretty soon.
And before we go to Like It or Spike It, again, today is a celebration, the return of the pigskin. Football is back. You've got the Jets, you've got the Browns, and allow me to be the first on FS1. I like the Jets tonight.
Weird.
Yeah, I like the Jets tonight. I don't talk about the point spread.
Okay.
I just like the Jets tonight. The Jets win, and they win handily, 20-0 Jets. That's all.
I guess I'll find out who won in the morning because I'm not watching.
I want to see what Zach Wilson does.
I'm going to text you every time there's a score.
Don't.
Wake up, Plax.
You will,
Wake up, Plax.
Your number will be on Do Not Disturb come 7 o'clock.
All right, listen, time now for Like It or Spike It. You guys ready to rock and roll? Here we go. Travis Kelce's got a new look. It's a mustache. Show it to him, guys, if you don't mind. Real quick. Like it or spike it there, Black.
Spike it. What's my name? That looks like Kenny, the movie. What's my guy's name?
What you got?
Kenny Powell.
Well, now that you said that, now I like it even more.
What was that? Brokeback Mountain?
He's bounding down,
That's the Gardner Minshew.
I don't know what it is.
The Gardner
I spike it. I don't like it at all. All right, let me go to former Yankee legends, CC Sabathia and Hideki Matsui playing golf.
Looking good.
There you go. I like that. I like it.
Who do you think has the better swing?
Matsui.
Hey, I seen CC hit one off the tee box the other day. It was clearly 320-ish.
Oh, for real?
Oh, yeah.
Then I changed my answer to CC Sabathia.
He can pound it.
Yeah, I bet he can. And let me show you a picture of the best basketball player on the planet, Nikola Jokic, dressed up as a jockey.
Interesting.
I feel bad for the horse.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying. That's all.
His feet are going to be dragging on the ground.
Yeah, that's two jockeys Muppet Manning this. It's two in one outfit.
Why won't the horse go anywhere? Your feet are on the ground. See you tomorrow.